The early 2000s were a golden era for sport, or so it seems. Athletes were breaking records, reaching new heights, but behind the scenes something was amiss. The BALCO scandal, named after the Bay Area Laboratory Cooperative, exposed a sophisticated doping ring that provided undetectable performance-enhancing drugs to elite athletes. When it all came crashing down, names like Barry Bonds and Marion Jones were implicated. Heroes turned into villains overnight, and the sport was left reeling. The BALCO scandal had a ripple effect across all sports. Marion Jones, once hailed as the fastest woman in the world, was stripped of her Olympic medals and served jail time for lying to federal investigators. Barry Bonds, baseball's home run king, became a controversial figure whose legacy remains debated. The scandal led to tighter anti-doping measures in professional sport. It was a sobering reminder that even the best can fall when temptation takes hold. During a test match against South Africa, cameras caught Australian cricketer Cameron Bancroft using sandpaper to tamper with the ball, trying to gain an unfair advantage. The plot thickened as it was revealed that the team's leadership, including Captain Stephen Smith and Vice-Captain David Warner, were in on the plan. What followed was a firestorm of outrage from fans, players and the cricketing officials worldwide. Smith and Warner were banned from the game for a year, and Bancroft received a 9-month suspension. Australia's once proud cricketing team was now seen as cheaters, and their reputation took a global hit. The scandal led to sweeping reforms within the Australian cricketing structure, including a change in leadership and team culture. It was a sobering reminder of how a single act of dishonesty could tarnish an entire sporting legacy. The Calciopoli scandal. Football fans in Italy have seen their fair share of drama, but nothing compared to 2006, when the Calciopoli scandal blew up. Juventus, one of the country's most successful clubs, was at the heart of match-fixing conspiracies. Referees' assignments were manipulated, and it wasn't just 1 or 2 matches. It was a widespread operation. The football world who watched in horror as Italy's most beloved clubs were pulled into the muck. Juve was stripped of 2 Serie A titles and relegated to the 2nd division. Manchester City take note. The scandal rocked Italian football to its core, with fans left questioning the integrity of their clubs. While Juventus eventually bounced back, the scars of Calciopoli remains a reminder that even the most prestigious organization can fall prey to corruption. Italian football was forced to rebuild its reputation, implementing reforms to ensure transparency, but for many the trust was already broken. The Mitchell Report in baseball. American baseball has always been about skill, grit, and dedication. But in 2007, the sport was hit with a devastating revelation: the Mitchell Report. After years of rumors and speculation, a 400-page document was released naming over 80 Major League Baseball players who had allegedly used performance-enhancing drugs. The names were legendary: Roger Clemens, Andy Petit, and a few more. These weren't just a few bad apples. The report revealed a systemic problem with the sport, shattering the myth of the clean game. The fallout from the Mitchell Report was seismic. Players who were once celebrated found their legacies tarnished. Clemens, one of the greatest pitchers in baseball history, saw his Hall of Fame chances all but evaporate. The league introduced stricter drug testing policies, but the damage was done. Fans were left wondering how many of their heroes had played by the rules and how many were living a lie. Seoul 1988. The world watched in awe as Canadian sprinter Ben Johnson obliterated the competition in the 100-meter final, crossing the line in a world record time. Johnson had achieved greatness, or so it seemed. Just days later, the fairy tale turned into a nightmare. He had tested positive for steroids. In an instant, the gold medal was stripped away, and Johnson was no longer a hero but a symbol of cheating and disgrace. Johnson's disqualification was a watershed moment for athletics, exposing the dark side of the Olympics. His downfall led to a closer examination of doping across the sport. Johnson's name became synonymous with cheating, and though he later claimed that many of his competitors were also doping, it did little to restore his tarnished image. The incident pushed the Olympic movement to adopt more rigorous anti-doping policies, but it also left a lingering question: how clean is any competition at the highest level?